stone cold killer right there, but champion pool-wise, definitely very deep there.
Immediate takeaway of the Karma after the Singed ban coming on through. That is one that we've seen consistently banned, but the priority on Singed has risen on up throughout the Icons tournament. And so it is Karma heading on over to JDG. Shen going back into the hands of Shy.
Yeah.
That's a nice little run back there.
Yeah, Zissou was so tanky on the Jax as well, with the Stand United coming in, with the Heroes entrance coming in as well. And I feel like JDG, that was one of the problems with their draft last game too. They were quite lacking damage, especially playing against the shielding that Team Flash had. I think this time around, if you want to run back the draft, you have to consider the fact that we need to draft a damage source somewhere that can scale into the late game.
Right, again, it was I think a third item, maybe a fourth item, death cap there for Juju, but just a little bit too late, not enough damage coming from the Karma.
It's a Karma!
Yeah,
wow! They're running this back. Honestly, I was thinking JDG to shift back into something that plays more around Karma that can buff early game champions like the Lucian, but it seems to me they're not gonna they're just basically gonna run it back, do things differently.
I very much like that there. They lock in the Ziggs, and Lemon looks his head up and looks to the other side saying, all right, we've thrown down our first 3 picks, and it's a bit different here. Morgana coming on out.
But why though? This one is interesting to me. The Lux was a great pick for you. There was definitely no problems with Lux last game. Why are you opting to go for Morgana here? Unless maybe we're gonna see something cheeky like a Flex Morgana, even though I doubt that's gonna happen. This raises a lot of question marks for me.
Because honestly, Coyote can still play this in the mid lane. This Team Flash that is basically gonna pull a fast one on everybody in the draft, especially they already won the first game. So now, yeah, that's the biggest question. Maybe they want that big black shield to not allow Zissou to be CC'd. They're gonna put all their eggs in one basket, unless this is Ellie Morgana and Coyote's gonna pull a fast one in the draft. He's smiling! He's having fun!
Maybe it might be the Morgana, but this is Team Flash is saying our identity for this series is gonna be play around Zissou. The WRL has always played 4 facilitate 1. Team Flash says we'll take a page out of your book, we'll do you one better. We will facilitate Zissou, our star jungler, to come in and carry us against you, JDG.
All right, Wukong and Riven banned away by Team Flash. JDG have to close it on out, and it's the Galio, which Empty looked really good on. Also, Gragas taken away, so not a lot of disengaged tankiness here from the support role. We've seen the set kind of pop up. We've also seen Thresh played a decent amount today. Let's see where they go with that.
Oh,
nice.
wow.
You want to show support here. And this is another cue that the Morgana might be a flex pick, because you show support here, you keep the Morgana flex to 5. Maybe we see Mog mid, maybe even a Rakan mid taking a page out of RIQ's book.
Alistair getting taken away by JDG, so you try to go in with the quickness and rerun the tanky style of the bite.
Yeah, we're really running it back with, again, what Omo said, 4 facilitators and 1 big carry. That's going to be Singdo again on this Kazik. So now I wonder what Team Flash is going to do. I feel like Coyote is going to be a carry here. This is them lacking on the damage department a little bit. I feel like they need a secondary carry to beat the 2v1.
Especially early to mid. Early to mid.
Exactly. They need
early
something
mid.
There it is! Put it out there! That's it! I love it!
Another WCSZ coming on through. We got to see Helios run with it throughout the tournament. Not so successful yesterday, but Coyote, the champion of the region, pulling out the Zed.
I think the biggest difference is that Team Flash again can basically do 1-3-1. If you have Zissou and Coyote split the side lanes, you have that big entry. You can pick up Hullbreaker, then you have a big cheat. You have the Shen Stand United, and it suddenly becomes a 2v1. I think it's amazing.
Momo, final thoughts.
Team Flash have a great comp for playing side lanes, but JDG, they want to come and teamfight you. They want to AoE shield, run at you, run you down. It's going to be hard against Morgana, against Rakan, against Stand United, but JDG, they're one of the best teams in the world. If anyone can make it work, it's them.
All right, y'all.
And for JDG, can they regain composure? Can they regain control of this series?
One thing that Coyote will be able to do on the Zed is split push. We saw him do that on the Jace in the last game.
Did a pretty damn good job of that too.
Role, right? You can be in that side lane, you can be causing damage. The other thing he can do on this Zed is have a great time in lane against JoJo, which is why Doki is here in the opening levels. Because even Zed, who has a pretty weak level 1, well, pretty good time farming early. And if Zed gets farm early, it is, as we say in the business, in the esports analysis business, a bad time.
And JoJo also gets priority, so he can get vision to see where Zissou started, going for that full clear once again. And immediately, as you talked about, Coyote, as soon as he hits level 2, jumping instantly right onto JoJo.
Yeah, and this will really help as well, the Zed in the team fights. with the presence onto the backline that Cho is bringing with the Ziggs, and being able to instantly annihilate the Ziggs in fights is going to be very important. One thing I would flag is that in comparison to the last game where we were talking about the amount of CC, the amount of tank that Team Flash had to receive Jingdo's pressure, to receive the instant burst of Mega Inferno Bomb, followed by Jojo, followed by Jingdo. They don't have that as much this game.
I want to see what JDG do with Doki and Jingdo towards the bottom side of the map, because they are in position to maybe contest or at least go for an invade, but empty. Spotting that rotation, cancels the recall, and now they're going to fight in the mid lane. Knockup from Doki, but this is an Alistar. He doesn't have a way out like he did on the Recon. It is empty that goes back in.
He's melting!
And Lemon was forced to come to the mid lane just to join up the fight. Doki almost going down in the exchange.
It's in the Willy Wonka chocolate river there. Just getting melted by Ellie as he's trying to run away. The dark pool keeps following him.
You don't want to take a drink of that pool.
No. Well, maybe it tastes great. I don't know. But the point is, much like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it's a danger. And as Doki's trying to survive that fight, Ellie's damage follows him, dropping him down very low, winning the skirmish 14 Flash. They don't get any early kills, but they do hold on to their kind of jungle sovereignty early, which matters a lot. As we talked about, Coyote and Zissou are both kind of scaling champions. They need a couple deliveries of gold, some minions in their bank account in order to do real damage. He's just spamming emotes, man.
He was doing it a minute ago, and he's still back at it. Coyote. This is how you get into the opponent's head.
And he did the penguin question mark, just asking questions, what's going on with you, dude? And you giggled at it, but you were holding down the cough button, and so I couldn't talk about it. And I was making, that was when I was making the point about the Zig. So I got so lost, because I was like, I want to talk about this, but they didn't hear you giggle.
I'm sorry.
Could you give me a giggle right now? Nice.
Coyote is in a world of trouble,
Stand United.
but Stand United is going to... Oh! I thought he was saved, but it's the Transcendent Embrace from Jojo that clips him right back in, and then Jojo says, nice penguin emote, here's a fist.
Oh. Thumbs up in response for Jojo. That's how you know you got in his head, when he kills you and spams 3 consecutive emotes. JDG taking the Rise approach, recognizing that the Zed is real scary during the early game yesterday, or last game. We saw a ton of pressure on Ellie. This game around, they're getting rid of the Zed early. Repeated ganks in the middle of the map, this time from Jingdo. Does find the kill that they need.
Almost towards the 4-minute mark where turret resistances will drop. Team Flash not necessarily in position.
We'll talk about this replay briefly. You can just see the presence of Doki and Jingdo in the lane. This is very obviously a concerted effort to shut him down. Really good use of the Transcendent Embrace, the Karma ultimate, locking down an AoE area where as soon as the Stand United fades, he can get the kill. You're giggling back in your emotes.
I only recalled him saying it once.
No, it was boo, boo, boo.
Yeah.
Get out of my lane.
Knuckle sandwich, knuckle sandwich, knuckle sandwich.
I do want to flag, they tried to put the Zed Coyote in the bottom lane. Team Flash not liking that matchup.
That's a lot of damage on Shy. He's forced out of there. Zissou might be in trouble, forced to flash away.
So they tried to put Coyote in the bottom lane in order to match him up against Cho, in the theory that they could get the Ziggs v Zed matchup, very good for Zed. Instantly JDG match it. They put the Karma in that bottom lane again, continuing to zone out Coyote, having success so far. Even though I don't think that should be a favorable matchup on paper, it has been so far this game. Here, maybe as Coyote levels up, is finally the break point where Jojo starts to lose it.
The key moment for Jojo is using that exhaust right when the death mark comes out, negating a lot of that incoming burst damage so that he survives the encounter. Jojo will be able to survive, but has to leave lane.
Yeah. So, finally, some good news for Coyote. And he is not going the Hullbreaker sideline build that we have seen a couple of Zeds do recently.
It's going for damage.
Damage! Ghostblade starting things off, indicating this will be a team fight threat.
It's a handshake of objectives across the Rift here, TJ. Rift Herald for JDG. Team Flash get the Dragon, and unfortunately for Ellie, walked into the wrong part of the jungle.
Yeah, he thought it was their own jungle.
Not anymore.
Rift Herald picked up. Probably you don't want to use this for this turret, so the win here for Team Flash is if they can force the Rift Herald use.
They save it just in time, 300 HP still on the tower.
Can they get the Rift Herald out for this turret?
JDG, use the Transcendent Embrace, get some burst damage. Shy, great use of the Twilight Shroud, negates a lot of the auto attack damage from JDG. They negate one more wave.
Yeah, really well played. We're going to see, I still think JDG are going to try and get this without spending the Rift Herald. There it is. The Ziggs bomb will complete it. So they've still got that Rift Herald in their pockets to use for another objective. Ooh!
Kaboom.
Kabam!
You know what's funny to me is Team Flash doing such a great job of trying to hold all of that, and she was like, that's cute. Bah. Nice turret.
Be a shame if someone satchel bombed it.
Oh, Coyote getting aggressive on the Lemon, but he's about to lose his turret, and now it's a 2v1. This Shadow Ninja, can he outplay this one? Deathmark already used. Demolition Justice! It is canceled out by the Stand United. Shy with the Taunt Flash, lands it on the Lemon, and now Doki he's got to go back home.
Coyote lives the fight and gets a little bit of assist gold. That will help the Wayward Ninja. And it does also mean that Shy's got a little bit in his own bank account. Team Flash getting what they need to scale into these late game team fights. The goal here again is not to win early, it is to last until Zissou has 3 items, completing his Wit's End. That will be the 3rd item build if he sticks to the same build as last game, which I see no reason why he would break from tradition. So we will go Blade of the Rune King into Wit's End, and once he has completed that 3rd item, they will team fight. Till then, it's about keeping the gold within about 2,000, not losing too much.
Take a look back at this. Buying so much time just for Shy to be able to come in with the Stand United.
Coyote lives on 2 HP. Like, that's real close to the wire. And he stepped back in. He was like, how can I find a kill here?
The coaches, too, they felt it. They're like, ho ho. Felt the breeze on the last tick of damage coming through.
Turned into Luigi. Ho ho!
Team Flash, almost 8 minutes into the game. This is a point where they are still biding their time, scaling on objectives, getting Zissou online. But it's now Doki forcing out Ellie from under the Tower of the Flash. Does not save him this time around, and now Team Flash down a member.
Rift Herald finally used another turret, gone.
Satchel Charge explodes it. Kaboom goes the Mega Inferno Bomb. Demolition Justice gets a ton of damage out onto Shy, forces him to retreat. Are they going to continue for more? Nope.
Jingdo unable to escort that Rift Herald to the 2nd turret. Did give it a swing though, got a little bit greedy.
Stepping up to the plate. Strike and a miss.
Thought it was an all-day buffet. Got told closing time was around midday. Ushered out.
Midday's at 8:25.
Is it really? Whoa! It's 9:30. Oh. You're an hour off. Oh, you were going by the in-game time.
The in-game time.
You're right. Midday's at 8:25.
On the Rift.
On the Rift. And that buffet is closed, but JDG still did take a lot of food for it. Took some back to their hotel room for later, built themselves a 3k gold lead. Nothing to sneer at. They also have gotten rid of all of the tier 1 turrets, which will give them access to all the jungle inside Team Flash's side, as well as priority on all of these objectives. So Team Flash need to make some proactive plays here before Zissou is at mark, because if they play slow, they're just going to get edged out of the game.
Rift Herald has spawned once again. JDG, they're the ones first to the pie here. They have control over the pit. Doesn't seem like Team Flash are going to contest.
I think we're hungry. The pie, the all-day buffet.
Food's good, man.
Sure is. And that cramp will go over to JDG.
There we go again. It is inevitable, TJ.
And that will be the Rift Herald in Jindo's pocket. Now here's the one I want Team Flash to fight for. Make sure you get on that Infernal Dragon, because if JDG get it, then it doesn't really matter how much Zissou scales. That's an extra 1,000 gold-ish of scaling worth of damage stats in JDG's pocket. A pretty significant advantage as we're back into the action. 20 seconds away from this Infernal Dragon. It is JDG's fight to lose, and Team Flash have to fight it despite that advantage.
You can see that Zissou is trying to farm out the last bit of camps right before the dragon is forced to spawn. JDG is not quite in position yet, but Xingdo has started up the dragon early, and as long as no one approaches, Zissou's on the other side of the map.
Yeah, Team Flash aren't even trying to get this dragon. They're playing through the split lane. They're trying to get Zissou as much gold as possible, and they're going to be capped at exactly 1 turret. They get the top lane turret, some gold into Zissou's pocket. That's, as I said, about 1,000 gold worth of damage stats in JDG's pocket in trade. That is not a good trade deal.
Unless you're JDG.
Correct. Team Flash, on the other hand, got ripped off. They're going to be behind in late game scaling. You see a 2,000-3,000 gold lead at the top of the screen. Add another 1,000 to that. This looks very good for JDG right now. Team Flash still waiting on that wit's end third item completion for Zissou.
Yeah.
Cannot fight before then.
With the Infernal Dragon on their side, it puts them at roughly about 4,000 gold worth of stats ahead of Team Flash. JDG favored in team fights if one were to erupt in a 5-on-5 situation. Team Flash, if they take one, it is going to come down to how Coyote approaches this fight. It can't be through the front door. He's got to look for the side flanks.
He's got to climb over the garden fence. Squat in their flowers for a bit.
Wait for his moment to strike.
Steal some of their carrots.
Not the carrots, dude. That's rude.
It's a Lord of the Rings reference.
Team Flash setting up the defenses right now on the outer perimeter of their base. It is one line of towers that separates JDG and the inhibitors.
And look at how JDG are playing this perfectly. Zoning Team Flash out of their own jungle, maintaining this vision line, dropping all these aggressive wards.
Oh, Zissou going aggressive, forcing JoJo to
on
flash on the wall.
islands.
And now it is isolation for Lemon. He's all alone. Team Flash connecting and continuing the chase. He brings Shy, another taunt flash, right onto the back line. Double kill for Zissou. And you said it, TJ, they're still going. Xingdo has already left the party. He no longer wants to be a part of it. He's on the right side of the map trying to steal some camps.
3 kills for Team Flash. And just as last game, they are suddenly right back in it.
Xingdo wants to re-engage with Doki. He's already gotten the big knockup, but taunt from Shy. Locks down Xingdo. Doesn't even get a chance to take down anyone. And Doki has engaged, but has no damage follow-up because the bug has been taken out by Shy.
And it is an item early for Zissou. He does not have his lifesteal yet, but they correctly understand that JDG are going to grind out the game. And so when the Rift Herald is summoned a little bit prematurely, when they know that JDG are still a little spread out in their own jungle, take a look at this positioning. Several members too far down on the map. They see, in particular, the Kha'Zix Xingdo on that turret in the bottom lane, and Team Flash pulled the trigger. They say this is a 5v4 at least, and that is the best fight we are going to get, and it is perfect execution. Snowballing the front line, leaving that Garen out to dry, and focusing the Garen, and then working their way forward. Yes, it's a 5v4 on the napkin math, but in that team fight, it was 5v1, followed by 5v1, followed by 5v1, and it was Team Flash picking up 3 kills in a row.
And you can see the frustration from JDG's coach in the replay, just watching that fight unfold. I imagine that it was after the re-engage from Doki and Xingdo trying to see if they could catch any stragglers, but the way Team Flash were able to regroup so quickly, JDG caught unaware once again, and now this time, that golden that they had, it was about 3,000. It is shriveled down to 1,000.
That's like my garden plants. The one you have on the window, and you look up one day and it's only got 1,000 gold. You're like, what happened? I watered it every day.
Must have not watered it continuously, TJ.
I got over-aggressive with the Rift Herald. Didn't check that my team was behind me and the plant died. And now Baron's on the map. Now Team Flash are in striking distance with Wit's End complete on Zissou, giving him a ton of lifesteal in these team fights.
And check this out. Coyote's completing Sorelda's Grudge now allows him to have the power.
Check that out! It's sick, Mark!
Yeah. It allows him to be able to take on even the toughest opponent, which will be Lemon with that Hullbreaker with all the armor and the health stats.
Yeah, we saw it in the last fight. Lemon get isolated and burned down. He doesn't have the mobility. Wow, he's just dead.
Yeah, Doki has no way out of this one. Not even a flash. It's too late. Mega Inferno Bomb does nothing to stop Team Flash in its tracks.
Lemon doesn't have the mobility to dodge these engages, so if the rest of the team retreats, Lemon's going to be left out in front. Now, he's a Garen, he's building tank HP. Normally, that's not a problem, but as you correctly identified, Sorelda's Grudge gives the Zed armor penetration, gets through that dead man's plate, finds that kill anyway.
And another big fault for Garen, if they are separated from their teammates, if they've already used their first ability, if you get slowed, there's no way out.
Yeah, man. Lemon already called out once, now trying to be that mobile ward.
Coyote,
Stand United.
Okay, but Shy is there to assist him into the back line. Stand United and Deathmark used cohesively. They've already taken out Cho. That's a major part of the damage for JDG. It is up to Xingdo to see if he can get any resets, but he can't get into the fight anymore. He's just trying to hide and look for a red buff, but Zissou forces him out of the jungle. They turn to the dragon.
2 games in a row. Team Flash play around the swing perfectly. Zissou comes online, and the entire team, as Oma likes to say, all 4 players enable 1. And this Jax has bought another game win for Team Flash, unless JDG are able to find the perfect team fight.
And it's got to start with finding a way to stop this Zed from being able to consistently take out the main backline damage source, TJ.
They've got to find a way to protect Cho in the early stages of these fights. For me, huge marker on Doki in that fight. Needs to be standing on top of Cho so that when the engage comes through, it's easy to land an instant pulverize, knock that Zed up, and buy time for the team to punish him, scare him away. If you can waste Zed cooldowns early in a fight, very winnable. If you can protect Cho early in a fight, it's very winnable. But repeatedly, Team Flash have managed to isolate that backline. And in this game, JDG are not getting team fights that they want. They are taking every fight on Team Flash's terms, which is a strong indication of who is running the map right now.
And preemptively using engage tools that should be used to disengage threats away from your backline. Once Che's gone,
into the pit.
It is going to be so difficult for JDG.
Zissou
already finding JDG, the heart of them all. Stand united, giving Zissou the extra assistance to transcend into Braves. It doesn't even matter. Team Flash are devouring JDG's jungler alive.
Shigdo's gone, as you say. Baron's on the map.
Team Flash continue the assault, looking for more. Zissou still has a GA, but he pops the stasis to ensure that he doesn't burn it quite yet. It is Shy, it is Empty, and Ellie continuing the chase. They go for another knockup, landing the damage down. Ellie burning them down to a crisp. Empty finishes it off.
And Team Flash own this game. The entire time, Coyote is doing what we said he would do.
Split push, baby. And the death mark comes out. Lemon has to walk away, does not want to get popped.
It's a Garen. This Baron burns Zissou. Quite wisely sitting defensive in that fight. You could see him resetting before the fight was even finished because he knows his role is to be full HP at the beginning of it. And yeah, your noise. Can you give me it again?
Woo!
It's a great demonstration of how much damage Ellie is doing in these fights. We flagged him on the Lux last game. Here's the advantage of the Morgana. Consistent, sustained damage. If everyone is focused around your front line, if everyone is trying to kill your Jax, hypothetically, you can drop these dark pools and just cook people. Just raise the temperature in the pot, boil the frog.
Damn, that's good imagery, TJ.
Well, it's the thing, supposedly you can raise the temperature in the pot gradually and frogs don't notice they're being cooked.
Oh! You know what, TJ? I'm going to give you another imagery. What about an assassin just squashing a bug?
Yeah, sure. Stepping on the frog.
Damn. Team Flash continuing the push. They have the Baron buff on their side, pushing through the mid lane and the top lane, and even through the bottom lane as Shy is corralling a minion wave while the rest of Team Flash go to work.
And we've seen twice now Cho try to land these Mega Inferno Bombs onto Zissou. He just jumps out. Now he's caught out.
Shy is called to the front line against Liberty.
That was such a good job. Didn't have to talk about paper cups again.
JDG, it seems that they have finally met a worthy opponent that will take them the full distance. Team Flash on the verge of cleaning out game 2. Coyote onto the backline. Demacia and Justice only takes out one and Empty, but the rest of Team Flash, they are still... I think that's it.
Can we watch this Nexus explode?
Yeah! All right, here's the call. Here's the soundbite. Team Flash take out JDG in game 2 and advance to match point.
Now go back in and edit that over the Nexus exploding so it sounds like we didn't have a pause right as it was exploding. You're doing work for the video editors, Mark. Team Flash looking good 2 games in a row, playing to their win condition.
Yeah, really great performance coming in from him on the Galio as well, now on the Rakan as well. Empty has definitely stepped up big time today. I think Ali has been doing a pretty good job himself as well. Hasn't really needed to do all too much, but that's Team Flash. When Zissou steps up, when Shy steps up, when Coyote steps up, the bot lane can kind of chill and just do their jobs, and this is the Team Flash that we expected to see.
And with JDG not experiencing a series loss throughout the tournament, none of the WRL teams
None.
have. JDG, all of a sudden, backs on the wall, has to win. Not even the series, but specifically the game. Just game at a time. Otherwise, it is the biggest upset in Wild Rift Esports history happening right now. Is it upset? The #1 team for the WCS? I will say